Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. We're really funny people.
We are. It may not come across as, but we are. Ask anybody who knows. Ping me. I'll tell you. I'm hysterical.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Welcome to episode 17 of Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. I'm John Ondo, along with my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
And we are here to, I was thinking about this today. We always say that we're a small business, here for small business, helping small business. But really, you could be a big business and listen to us. I think we have information for all kinds of businesses and entrepreneurs and startups and everything else. And
I would agree.
And just people who just generally like to hear encouraging people because, I don't know about you, but I'm just really sick and tired about everybody being sick and tired about everything. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I would agree. I wasn't at the office 30 minutes today, and my dear friend was already over it.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about taking your customer service from a customer service to a customer experience. And this is really something that Angel, this is her thing. So today I am going to put the spotlight on her and I'm going to let her shine because I'm telling you, if you have a business, if you have customer service in any form, and let's face it, even if you're, a house painter and you just take calls on your cell phone, customer service is still important. So we're going to put the spotlight on her. We're going to let her tell you the keys, the do's and don'ts, and how to work through them with customer service, taking it from a customer service to a customer experience on today's program. Angel and I celebrated our 4th anniversary.
Woohoo!
And one thing we haven't talked a lot about, we talk a lot about our businesses and coffee makers and different things that we like, but we haven't talked a lot about some of the things that kind of drew us together. And one of the things that I have loved since the 80s and even more, I'm always a comedy guy. And one of the things I found out about Angel very early in our dating was you love comedians. So
I'm obsessed.
Where people watch Netflix nonstop on Stranger Things and I do like Star Trek and so forth. We watch and rewatch so many great comedians. We love comedians.
It's been a passion of mine since I can remember. And back in the day, before there was such a thing as being able to record something, I would take my tape player, that is a cassette player for those of you out there who are young, and I would put it in front of the TV.
Yes.
And if it was a Saturday Night Live episode with Eddie Murphy and a bunch of great people, I would record it, and then I would memorize the entire skit.
If you want some of our top comedians to listen to, John Panetta.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He says nay, nay.
Nay, nay. And then, of course, John Mulvaney.
Mulaney.
Is it Mulaney? I thought it was John Mulvaney.
There's no V in there.
Okay, I'm
Mulaney.
sorry. Mulaney, who is a former writer from Saturday Night Live, and he was occasionally a cast guy on Saturday Night Live, but he's got stand-up, and his delivery, it's smart, it's inappropriate at times, and it's not.
But it's perfect.
It's not kid-friendly, but it is so funny.
It is just, yeah. I heart him deeply.
Yes, we love him very much. And then, of course, what Angel referred to as her spirit animal,
yes,
Kathleen Madigan.
Kathleen Madigan.
If you have not seen Kathleen Madigan, she's got several Netflix specials. She's
been around forever.
She is just funny in every possible way. So we got to go for our anniversary. We had tickets for Kathleen Madigan's Hot Dog and Angels tour, which we thought was very funny since Angel's name in it but she had nothing about that in there.
Yeah, there was no word, and there was nothing about any angels or hot dogs. I was wanting to hear her say my name, but it's fine.
She went on and on about her parents and getting in the town car and going to Mexico and buying drugs and stuff like that. All these funny stories that, very much apply to us in our season of life right now with our parents and everything. And it was just...
But the reason I would recommend her, unlike a lot of other comedians, is that she's extremely smart. She is well read. She watches the news. She connects with people, but it's not about herself. It's about just, hey, this is the situation, and here's where it is, and here's my family and my brothers and sisters, and it's everything you can relate to.
If you
It's
have
awesome.
a chance to listen to Kathleen Madigan, we're huge fans. And, the thing that I wanted to have with this podcast is that if you could hang out with Angel and I when we go out and do stuff, and we don't sit and regurgitate other comedians, we really do come up with some really funny things. And I have to say, if I listen through our podcast, we're not nearly as funny on the podcast as we are in real life. And I don't know, we have to work on that because we're really funny people.
I think it's because we censor ourselves
That's
because
probably
we are
true.
trying to be PG-13.
You interviewed me on last week's episode about TV and radio advertising, which we
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of response on. And thank you so much, everybody who's listening to us. You're making us like a big-time podcast.
And we appreciate that.
I like it's really, really cool. We're very excited, and we're glad we're helping people out there. Let me interview you from a standpoint of people who do not know who you are.
Okay.
Obviously, you are the master of cupcakes, and if you didn't see the beautiful cake video I did, you need to go to our Instagram and see the cake video. That was a naked cake.
It's called a naked iced cake, and it's basically where you put very little icing on the outside to give it kind
looks
of a
sculptured.
rustic type of feel. Everything, of course, is rustic these
Yes,
days.
it is.
So, but I really, the video just totally made that cake shine. It was beautiful,
But the cake looked great. And
but that video really.
so
made it
Angel
look
has a
beautiful.
cupcake business, but
Yes.
her real gig for now, 26 years?
26 years officially with the current company. And then if you look at anything I did prior to that through jobs that I had in college and the job I had out of college before I got my
You did
current gig,
retail.
it's, to me, every bit
Did
of
you-
everything I ever did was customer service.
Did you work at Chess King?
I did not work at Chess
I
King.
thought you worked at Chess King.
I did not. No, I
Oh.
worked at a place called, I think there's still some around, but maybe there's not. I don't think there's any in Columbus. It's called Fashion Bug.
Oh,
Or as my
Fashion
grandmother
Bug.
referred to it as fashion bag. So that was always her thing. Are you
Fashion
still
bag.
working at the fashion bag? Yes, Grandma.
Nice.
I'm still working at the
Oh,
fashion
if you
bag.
had worked at Chess King. I love Chess King.
It's-
Anyway, that's
yeah.
another topic. Anyway,
Yes.
so you've dealt with customer service your whole life.
Yes.
And so let's talk about what you do specifically now. So your company, it's a Fortune 500, it's global, and many divisions. So you have a division that you have a call center for
Correct.
that takes customer service calls.
Correct. So we are an inbound call center. Customer service was the main thing that I used to teach.
So
All the time.
If I called your company and the specific call center you're responsible for and said, okay, I need to talk to a supervisor, is that going to be you? Are you getting the call transferred to you, or is it go through?
Unfortunately not, that we do have supervisors there that
So-
manage it, but a lot of times things will come my way
So are you
if I need to.
Are you the person then when I feel like I'm now being the cross examiner in a trial? Then are you the person, ma'am, who when the recording says this call is being monitored or recorded for customer or
Quality
whatever,
assurance.
quality assurance? Are you the person who listens to that tape?
I am the person who must listen to those tapes.
So
Yes.
those tapes are being listened to by people in
Yes,
most
they
cases.
are. A lot of times they are, and we're not listening to every single one because we would probably jump out a window. But we do listen to quite a few, and all we are looking for, at least in my world, was we're looking for some key points because ours is a call center, and based
Right.
on what we do, it's very different than if you were in a call center for a credit card company or a call center for a lingerie company or a call center or a place where it's a dispatch location for a trucking company.
Right.
It's very different. So you have to, again, like we've always said, keep your audience or your customer in mind, business to business. When you're dealing with people within your organization,
And
you
you're-
should still provide customer service.
And so you're in your company, in your call center, you're dealing more business to business typically.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
But what you're about to share with us also applies to just, you've got a restaurant, you've got anything.
Anything. I mean, to me, it's just, for me, it's never been difficult because it's just who I am. In the sense of the way I treat people, the way I want to be treated, that old golden rule. I learned, some fancy terms for it per se, but
Give me one.
I don't have one now.
Okay,
I said that now.
Let
lost.
me
So go ahead.
let me give you one that because I recently had a client, really impressive client. I mean, they're top end,
and they kept referring to best practices.
Oh, goodness, yes.
And that has become a word I'm beginning to really use in my vocabulary now because I really like it. Now, I would normally just said something like, let's do things good.
Yes.
But I like best practices. And they kept saying it in every video, every interview.
It's all business vernacular. But
Yeah.
again, we have several best practices document, and that word is thrown around for everything that we do at work. So what are your, what are your best practices for this? What are your best practices for that? We have to document them. We have pages upon pages of different topics that have best practices.
So let's break this down
Yes.
into, you have a cupcake business on the side. I have my small business, which is just me.
Yep.
And then there's companies, I'm sure, that are listening that are representative that they have 2 or 3 employees or 50 employees.
Mm-hmm.
But, one thing that was beat into my head literally as a teenager when I began working at the first TV station I worked at, I was just, somebody said once, you never let a phone ring more than 3 times. And that was back when we had these things called telephones.
Yes.
But I'm always very big on somebody emails me. I have it set up that if you email me or call me, even if I'm on the road or unfortunately on vacation, I get notified because I'm kind of this unfortunate dweeb that really doesn't like leaving somebody waiting around to hear from me. So I try to instantly contact people.
And that's what we have in our call centers is we have average answer times. And so we have specs we need to meet in order to, like, how long is your customer willing to wait?
Yes.
And when I find myself calling other forms of business, whether it be a publicly held company like an electric company or something like that, and I have been on hold for an inordinate amount of time, I cannot help myself now but to ask, do you have any standards? Do you have any best practices for how long your customer should be on hold?
So can you tell me what's the average you shoot for?
So for us, and we've benchmarked with many other healthcare companies that do what we do, our average answer time is you have to answer within 30 seconds.
Oh my God. So I mean, like a live person has to answer.
Literally in 30 seconds.
Now, does that mean they go back on hold or they're on? I mean, so that's ridiculous.
So that's our goal. Now, if there's not a live agent available,
do they do a callback thing?
Nope. You're just on hold.
Okay.
So it's basically just looking and trending. You need to average 30 seconds.
Wow, that's impressive because
it's not hard to do, but I can tell you one bad day that will, which some people may say a minute and a half isn't that big of a deal to wait because we've all been there. Unfortunately, a minute and a half when you're used to potentially getting picked up in 15 seconds to, again, less than 30, it's an eternity.
Yeah.
Customers freak.
Well, I called I'm dealing with some stuff with my mom. She's 92, and I had to call a hospital to find out if we could do some things with the bill. And, I knew this is going to be a half-hour process, and I called, and it went through the phone tree thing, pushing the buttons, but they gave me the option. Your wait time was 6 minutes, which I honestly thought that's not bad because normally you hear 15 to 20 minutes or 40 minutes. And they said, or if you can't wait that long, we'll call you back. And sure enough, I did that. In 5 minutes, I got a call back, and it was a delightful person and very good customer service experience. So what we're going to go through, so I'm glad you shared some of this with us because that helps me understand the quality and the length of things that we have to deal with. So again, let's go through some of these things. You've broken it down into do's and don'ts, and let's kind of walk through them. Tell me, this is again taking your customer service to making it a customer experience. So go ahead and you're going to give me the do's first, right?
Yeah. So I mean, basically, and like I said, these are just 4, and I'm sure if you Googled or looked or any of the training that I personally have gone through in order to provide, out of the box type of training that companies produce for call centers or for customer service groups. These are angel terms because I didn't want to get any copyright troubles or whatever. So these are my terms and how I put it. And
they're even better when they're your terms.
Well, it's reality. And
but you train people all the time on this. This is,
I have to train the out of the box stuff that either I have found or someone else has found.
So you're getting thousands of dollars worth of great information right near for
there you go. And a gajillion years of experience. So I'm just going to go through. I've got them highlighted. I'm not going to give you the definition of each one, but
I should mention we are going to put these on the website. So watch for that, and we'll give you some information in a little bit.
And you're going to say again, most of these are like extremely common sense, but sadly, as we all know, we don't have common sense. So the first one is to listen. The second one is to probe. the third one is take action, and the fourth is follow up. So those are the four things that, for me as a person giving customer service and receiving it, those are the four most important things for me.
So let's break that down a little bit. So your first one sounds like, listen. So I call you up and I'm like, hi, I need to order a box of widgets.
Yes.
As my friend used to always say. So obviously, listen sounds like, okay, I want to take a box of widgets, but what are you really listening for?
Well, you're listening for everything. So again, because you're on the phone, which is different. If you were in an environment where you're face to face with your customer, you have a lot more surface area to view, their body language, their facial expression, how they're standing, all of that stuff. Whereas if you're on the phone, the only thing you have is, as I've always learned, the sound of their voice.
Yes.
How are they talking? Are they quiet? Are they distant? Do they sound confused? Are they having a conversation with someone in the background? Are they angry? And this is not meant to be, hopefully nobody takes it, but you can tell what part of the country they're from as to how they're going to behave. If they're from the Midwest versus the South versus the far West Coast versus the upper Northeast region.
Sure.
Every area is different.
I love
different.
I love New York people, but they're in a mad rush for everything. 'Cause
Always.
that's the lifestyle they
Yes,
live.
and-
Versus if you talk to somebody in the South, how you doing, sweetie? I'm okay. How are you doing? I'm great.
Yeah.
So sorry about your
Exactly.
your
But
Alabama team.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay.
So, but the key is listening, and it's not just listening, and because we can all say we're listening, but are you listening or seeking to understand?
Okay.
What is it they really need? And you're going beyond that, listening to, again, like I said, what do they sound like? Are they upset? Are they unsure? What is it? So you're listening beyond just the words they're saying.
So that obviously leads into your second point. You probe.
Yes.
So that's where if you have questions, if they've got, maybe they don't have the full picture of what they're asking for.
Exactly. And I had that my my own experience with that and just doing cupcakes. That is what I do. I have to ask and ask and ask and ask, because they'll say, well, I want cupcakes. And they're, okay, well, how many? How many people are you feeding? What flavor are you looking for? Do you want a decoration? Is it for a theme? I mean, the questions are endless. Just to say, I want cupcakes, deliver them on Friday. Well, you can't, just like a customer calling and asking for something, you can't not ask more questions.
I get that on videos all the time.
Yes.
I'll get a cold call from a potential client, and almost all of them, bless their hearts, will come up and it's like, we're looking for a 3 to 5 minute video to put on our website. Now, I don't immediately start laughing, but inside I do, because as we all know, if you're any kind of web person, you don't do anything more than a minute, maybe 90 seconds on some, but obviously Instagram's a 1 minute limitation. So I have to typically start probing. What's the purpose of this video? Is this video going to be shown in a sales meeting? Which, who cares? It can be whatever time you need it to be in that case. But if it's going to be on the web, or if it's going to be in some sales presentation, it needs to be. So then I start asking the questions. Who's the audience? Yep. Well, we just want to get it for general audience. Okay, then it needs to be a minute long. So instead of making a 5 minute video, why don't we make 5 1 minute videos and hit 1 point per topic or something?
Exactly.
So
anyway, it's probing. Yeah. And so the next one is, depending, again, whatever is going on, take action.
I like this.
And the biggest one is, I have always said, don't waste their time, because I don't want my time wasted telling them all the things you can't do. I can't do this. I'm not allowed to do this. This is our policy. These are our rules.
You don't listen.
I can't
do
this. They don't care. Yeah. So what can you do? Focus only on what can you do. And it kind of goes back to one of our earlier podcasts that we had, either 2 or 3, where I said, be a hero.
Yeah. Which was great.
Find the thing that you can do that's within whatever limits you've been given or whatever scope you've been given of what you can do for your people, and that's what you focus on. What can I do? That's
episode 2. If you go back, I think it's our second podcast, Be the Hero, and it's actually one of our most popular podcasts that Angel talks about that, and I think it's great. You can mention that, and again, this I think it is. You can. It's always easy to say I can't do that and I can't do this, or you've got your hands tied. And it's because I guess that's that part of us, we feel like we can blame it on someone else. Mm-hmm. But really, to say, this is what I can do for you, obviously, is always the positive. Mm-hmm. And this kind of ties into your next point, because on our anniversary date, we were going out and doing stuff, and I was dealing with, unfortunately, one of my clients called, and I sent an email saying, I'm going to be gone tomorrow, but they still called anyway.
Yep.
and they had some very simple changes they wanted to do to this project we're working on, and I was listening. But for my own sake and for theirs, I immediately dictated an email back to them. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Just want to clarify. I love using that word. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 on the video. I'm going to try to get it to you next week, and have a great weekend. And so I had it in writing. Yep. He had it in writing, and actually he sent an email back. Oh, and add one more thing to it. But now we were into an email conversation, which was a little easier to deal with. But
that comes right back to point 4, which is follow-up.
Perfect.
So again, what action are you going to take? And then make sure you take that action. So if there is, sometimes things don't require a follow-up. It just depends on the situation, whatever's going on. But if you've said, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to find this out, or just like John has said, let me do this or that, then I'm going to get back with you. And if you give them a time frame, stick to that time frame. And I am blasphemously guilty of sometimes not doing that because of different situations. And I never make excuses. I always say, nope, I didn't get back to you like I said, and because they don't want to hear it. So I get on with it, and I get to the follow up.
And a thing I'm going to throw out for the creative people who are listening, because there's a difference. If like you are an accountant, if you are a librarian or something, you folks, God bless you, you actually have like a memory and things that us creative people typically who see, oh look, there's a shiny object. When you do a follow-up, it's so important, because then just like I had to do that with my client, because I knew it was Friday. I knew we were going to go, and it was going to be 18 hours before I got back home. And I really wanted to make sure I knew, because I don't know how many times I've told this to Angel. I had this idea this morning, and it was really great, and it was probably going to solve cancer, but I forgot to write it down, and I don't remember what it is now.
Yes, he's lost that cure so many times.
So whenever you can, creative people especially, or if you're, like Angel and you do cupcakes or whatever, and you talk about, I'm going to do a strawberry blah, blah, blah cake, well, send that back in an email to them. It does two things. It confirms the fact that you were on the right track, and they don't say, oh, no, I meant minis instead of full-size cupcakes. And likewise, you have a physical record on your phone, so if it is 3 weeks away, you can go back and say, oh, no, I don't want to call that person and act like I forgot everything you told me about the most important date of your life. I can go back and look, oh, that's right, I said I was going to do this. It's almost like a contract. So let's review the do's real quick. Do's is you got to listen, right?
Yep.
You see, I'm listening.
Yes, you are.
Got to probe, got to ask those questions.
Always.
Take action. Tell your customers what you're going to do, and try to do it in a positive way versus I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then follow up. Make sure you write it down. And creative people, please put it in writing so you don't forget, and you don't have to call the person back and say, yeah, that really important wedding you had coming up, what was that? Was it a cake I was doing for you? Because that kills all confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like, well, it's like some of the commercials they've got on TV. It's like, so which leg am I amputating here? I don't remember. I really don't think you should be doctor. So.
I don't think so.
So I unfortunately, because we talked a lot about comedians, what I would like to do is I'm going to cut us short here on this episode with the do's.
Okay.
Let's come back next week. Let's leave a cliffhanger, as we like to say in television.
Dun, dun, dun.
And talk about the don'ts. Because if you don't get the don'ts, you're all going to die.
There we go.
So
that's
It
extreme.
will be a fiery death, and it will be very, very bad.
And your business will fail and never, ever succeed.
It will never be good. And whatever political party you hate will be the ones in office next year. That's how bad it will be. So, again, let me just, thank everybody. We went over, I know this is not a big deal. This is how we are, okay? We are not this gigantic, big media conglomerate that has 20,000 likes on our Instagram. We just went over 200, and I am so excited.
And I wish I had a cowbell to ring, but I don't.
Because
ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
I'm thrilled about that, because we've only been doing this for a few weeks. And 200 people on Instagram following us and loving us and sending us stuff and really liking. I really am glad, because they're 200 of the coolest people ever. So thank you for following us, and we invite you to follow us on Instagram. We are also on Facebook, but I'll be honest with you, most of our stuff is going to be on Instagram. We are going to do a Twitter at some point, but I just haven't quite rolled into what we're going to do with that. We are going to do some live things on Facebook Live with some of our podcasts, just because we just want to have some fun and give a treat.
What I found.
What'd you find? Oh, it's a cowbell.
Woo! I'm sorry. I just
What would we
wanted to
do
play
without
that.
what we do?
Oh, it
now
won't stop.
it won't stop.
Ah!
Oh, fabulous.
There we go. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Both Angel and I want to say to you is we're this new podcast. We've had our businesses for a while, but we're a new podcast. This was something very exciting for us to start because we really want to encourage small businesses and share not only what we have gone through, but we have so many great friends who are also in small business that we want to share. We got some great friends coming up that will be talking with us in upcoming episodes. But we don't take anything for granted. I know I see a lot of people like, we just hit 8,000 people on Instagram, and we just hit 200 people on Instagram, and I'm so thrilled because those are 200 amazing people who followed us and like what we're doing. And for those of you who listen to the podcast and are sharing it, and each week tune in with us, it means so much. We're just, I think, as you see, 17 weeks in. We're trying to be consistent with it. But your reviews mean so much. If you could review us on iTunes, if you could share us with anybody, if you want to subscribe, great. But just keep listening. And we just appreciate you so much for being a part of our little world here at Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. We are a presentation of Ondo Media, and we encourage you to keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.